it's basically just a very hands-on museum, which is really good because that's what kids are all about, is hands-on. Yeah, so in general, I think it does a lot for the community. It educates the children of Sacramento. If this organization is addressing an issue, that issue is ignorance of science among children. This organization addresses that issue by providing resources for children to learn about science. And these sciences are animal sciences, geology, and astronomy. Not astrology, astronomy. Astrology is not a real science, it's astronomy, because it's learning about stars and space. Yeah, so kids can basically just express themselves creatively while learning and communicating. And it's also a great place for parents to take their kids, because like you can't just have your kids sit at home all day. Like you gotta probably go outside, but going outside, I mean, sometimes it's really hot, so you gotta go to a museum. But a lot of museums are boring, but this one's not boring because it's for kids. So yeah, that's how it works in the community. Day-to-day activities, basically day-to-day activities of the organization itself. It's arts and crafts, and each day, like I think it's every 2 hours, they have a planetarium showing. They project stars on the ceiling in a giant domed room, and kids find that completely fascinating. And maybe they have some commentary. No, they definitely have some commentary on like stars and constellations and things like that. And they tell kids about how stars work, which is pretty cool because I don't really know how stars work. I probably should have checked that out. The mentor basically told us what to do and when to do it. She said, hey, we have some crafts to do today. This is how you do the crafts. When a parent walks in, you give them the paper and you say, this is how you do the craft, and then they just do it. And we make sure they have all the right materials, make sure they have pens and paper and scissors, and yeah, so we just make sure they're prepared. We make sure everything's clean, and yeah, it went very smoothly. So a meaningful connection between the community and the organization. So the community is very impacted by this organization because it inspires kids. It inspires in children a love of science, I would say. And basically, I could totally see this scenario happening. Like, a kid goes here, they see the dinosaurs, they see the stars, they see the animals, they see the shiny rocks, and they think, wow, this is really cool. I wish someday I could study these things. And basically, this organization helps progress humanity because it inspires a love of science in the children of our community. And I think that's possibly the greatest endeavor possible. Yeah, so just in general betters our community by inspiring an interest in science in our children. And it also keeps kids off the street. If they're in a museum, they can't be on the street selling their drugs, which I find very admirable of this organization for providing a place in which children can not sell drugs on the street and just learn about some science. Yeah, so in general, I think that pretty much covers it. Yeah, so its scope, it's pretty big. Like, it's basically science. Like, a lot about dinosaurs. Yeah, as I said already, the shiny rocks, the dinosaurs, the stars, and spaceships. Just everything kids seem to be interested in has it. All the science things that kids usually like are here. Good job. You can do something different. You're doing the same thing over and over again. It's boring. Yeah, that's good. Oh, teamwork! Alright, can you change your angle? Can you go for a different angle or something? Because you're just doing the same thing. That's good.
There were a couple of things that probably could have gotten better. Like, we didn't seem the most organized group, so to say. So, we probably should have been more organized. However, we were able to get a lot done. Like, almost all of our group was able to volunteer at the same location, and we all had a good time, I guess, at the Discovery Museum. I learned a lot about like how to work with people and like where my strong suits are and what my strong suits aren't also. So yeah.
Alright, so the senior project for me, primarily, it was extremely frustrating because I was told to start the senior project the summer before senior year, and I did that, and I did an internship. I drove to San Francisco and spent an entire day doing an internship and wrote an essay and everything, as I was told to do, because they told me to do the project before the year started, because senior year would be like busy, I guess, which kind of was. The first day of school, they're like, nope, everything you did, throw that away. So that was probably the most frustrating thing about the senior project, because I wrote a whole essay already, so oh well. I had signatures, I had a mentor, oh well. I did like about the senior project that we got to do it in groups. That was nice. We got to pick the organization that we wanted to or volunteer for. That was alright. Positive that came out of that. So since we volunteered at the Discovery Museum, it was mostly children and parents like learning how to do craft together, and that was interesting to see the bonds between the parents and their children grow and strengthen. That was pretty moving. It made me appreciate what parents do for their children. That's about it.
Working at the Discovery Museum, I realized I don't find working with kids that enjoyable. So I have a lot of respect for teachers now for dealing with us. Another difficulty we had, it's kind of difficult for us to all get on the same schedule. Some people couldn't or didn't want to volunteer on the same day as the others. It made it difficult to get the timing of when to volunteer right. It was just kind of annoying at times to get people to volunteer in general. But we did it, we all did it, and I guess it was a worthwhile experience in the end.
During our senior project, we encountered many difficulties. Many organizations in the beginning did not contact us back, leading to us searching last minute for an organization. However, in the end, all of us were able to volunteer, and come second semester, we were able to find organizations a little easier. One point that I feel I could have improved upon was arriving on time.
Volunteering at the Powerhouse Science Center Discovery Museum provided me with an opportunity to practice using some of the leadership and communication skills that I learned through Boy Scouting. One of the reasons that we chose to volunteer at the Science Center was that we knew we would be working with children. This was something I really wanted to do because I believe that there's great reward that comes out of working with children and helping them learn and making learning fun. And it turned out to be a great decision because the staff was super friendly and the process to becoming a volunteer was really easy. Once you were a volunteer, you were sent an email out monthly that provided the schedule for volunteer opportunities, and all you had to do was sign up for a day and time that worked best for you. My personal volunteering experience went amazing. I helped supervise a arts and crafts walk-in session in one of the activity rooms. And I call it a walk-in session because the activity room was open at an extended amount of time at which parents could come in with their children at any point during the time it was open and take part in the arts and crafts activity, and then the kids could leave with something that they made and that they created using their imagination while learning. And it provided a great reward seeing how much fun the kids were having and how happy the parents were with the service that we were providing to their children. And after it was over, I went to my supervisor and project mentor, and she told me I did an amazing job staying active and helping parents and kids wherever they needed it, which is something very important to them because they want to see volunteers trying their best to be a service to the families. There really were no obstacles to this volunteering experience because the Science Center is really dependent on volunteers. They basically run all the activities that go on there, and so they try as hard as they can to accommodate for the needs of volunteers. That being said, it was also really easy to do because it's something I can find myself being very passionate about, working with children and making sure they have a great learning experience.